I'm awkward. I'm annoying. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not good at push-ups. I'm really bad at talking and communicating. I'm not good with my words. I'm terrible at chin-ups. My endurance is terrible. My endurance is just too bad. I'm too short. I'm too weak. I'm too. Guys, these are SLBs. Self-limiting beliefs. We say things all the time. Our athletes, our kids say things all the time as if they were unchangeable, when in fact, all those things I just said, except for being too short, I could change every single one of them if I rephrased my statement into a question. How can I become stronger? How can I become a better communicator? How can I get over the fact that I might be awkward and say to myself, I'm unique, I'm different, I'm funny, I bring joy to people because I'm a little awkward sometimes. We let these things hold us back from being our true selves, from stepping into the greatness that's within us. We let them hold us back because we don't think about them, we don't look at them through the lens of being proactive.
And a lot of times if our friends would say these same things out loud, we could oftentimes give them solutions. Again, just by rephrasing it into that question. But the big thing is that self-limiting beliefs that we have running in our head, it's an excuse to stay in our comfort zone and not challenge ourselves. So listen when these things pop up there, because oftentimes that's where you should lean into it a little bit and challenge yourself to get better in that area. I'm not great at chin-ups, so I've been working my butt off to get better at chin-ups. I only ate meat for primarily most of last year, so I challenged myself and I went vegan for the first 4 weeks of the year. So the big thing is you can do these things, but you got to lean into that challenge, lean into that discomfort.
I think that's a good point about our kids, our athletes. We have a ton in PFP. They either use them as a crutch, they use it as an excuse. Like, this just is the way I am. That's one way you know if you're using a self-limiting belief. You say, this is just how I am. It's how I was created. It's just who I am. They either use it as an excuse or they don't believe in themselves. They truly just don't believe in themselves and they can't see the greatness or the goodness that's inside of them. Either way, it needs to be addressed. So all week long at PFP, we're talking about SLBs. SLBs, self-limiting beliefs, how to shatter them, how to overcome them. For me, I shared the story about writing a book. I just wrote a book, but you better believe for a couple of years I told myself, I'm only 27. How could I write a book that people would actually want to read? I'm only 28. Who would want to read my book? Self-limiting belief. Because I was too young, I didn't think I was able to write a book. And typically, the way you overcome a self-limiting belief, really, what it comes down to is action. Massive action. What are you going to do to get better at push-ups? What are you going to do to get better at communicating? What are you going to do to get better at your ball handling skills or your speed, your agility? We've proven as human beings, we can overcome anything. Like, literally anything. If you did want to get taller, I'm sure you could go out and spend a bunch of money and get someone to stretch you out until you, grew a couple inches. I mean, you can change anything about yourself. You just have to change your mindset.
Put stilts in your shoes, that works. But the big thing, guys, is for me, one big one that I had is when I was going through high school, I was the slower athlete. And for me, I heard it from my stepdad a lot, so for me, it kind of got rehearsed. I had to play smarter because I was slow. So it made me be more of a student of the game. And over time, I eventually tried to attack that weakness, but a lot of times I shied away from it. When people wanted to race or we would run the 40s at school, I didn't look forward to those times, and I kind of shied away from those moments. And in turn, mentally, I slowed myself down. It took me getting to a spot where I finally had a coach that said, you're faster than you run on your 40. But for me, that self-limiting belief destroyed my confidence. And as a result, I ran really tense, really tight, and I didn't perform up to my capabilities there.
Right. So here's your action steps. Number 1, identify when you're making a definitive statement about something you could actually change. Identify when you're making a definitive statement about something that you could actually change. Identify. Step number 2, write down your self-limiting beliefs. All week long, kids are putting pen to paper in our doors. They're writing down, we're taking 5 to 10 minutes out of their training time to write down what their self-limiting beliefs are, because until you address those, good luck being the best you can be on the field. You got to get this right before the physicality comes through. And then step number 3, talk through them. Share with people what you're in the middle of overcoming. Don't share with them, I'm not good at push-ups. Say, I'm overcoming an upper body issue. Right? An upper body strength issue. I'm overcoming this as we speak. 3 steps. That's what I would recommend you guys do today, right now.
And when you're writing those down, be raw, be authentic. Don't let false humility creep in and write something you're actually pretty good at on that paper. Lean into the challenge. Write down something you really let yourself off the hook with these self-limiting beliefs. And like Andrew said, speak through it and lean into that challenge.
Cool. So, quick Facebook Live today. Self-limiting beliefs will cripple you if you don't overcome them. Don't let that be your excuse for becoming all you can be, guys. See you next week on Facebook Live with Travis and Andrew. We still got to come up with a better name for that.
Yeah,
Peace, guys. Have a great week.